Chat, they're bad, but this is a whole new level. Like, this is truly a uniquely bad new level of bad. I cannot stress this enough. This is beyond malpractice. Like, I've just been angry. I cannot believe it, especially because it took place right after a wave of victories. So it basically felt like the Democrats were saying, oh no, we have it too good. The people hate the Republicans too much. And God forbid, it kind of feels like they like us again. We have to stop it. It just genuinely feels like they were just like, we have to put an end to this. We have it too good. And the reality of the matter is, it's all the people that are retiring or people that just don't have any reason. Like, they don't have any fear of being primaried. Basically, what I will say is this, okay? Either Chuck Schumer went to the centrist Dems, who are always the rotating villains, who play the role of a spoiler in the party, said, you know, you guys can actually cook this, which means he's a demon and an awful, monstrous piece of shit. Or he actually did not want them to do it, but they did it anyway. And that means he's an ineffective party leader and so incompetent that he must retire instantly. To preserve American democracy, if you do believe that there needs to be an effective counterbalance to the growing fascist movement in this country, unfortunately, you need something. You need some motion, some momentum from the Democratic Party. And it feels like the democratic wishes of the public is in that direction, where they absolutely want the Democrats to fight back, and Chuck Schumer and them are not doing it. His own whip voted for it. I mean, Dick Durbin. So yeah, you have Maggie Hassan, you have Shaheen, you have Tim Kaine. Like, out of all of these guys, even Tim Kaine is bullshit. Like, he should have done it. He's the one that's like the most understandable. You know what I mean? Like, even with Abigail Spanberger, like, the reason why I say it's like understandable is because, like, if you're in Virginia, like, your entire base is federal workers, right? Like, they're federal workers. They're all furloughed. Like, it makes sense that you would be a little bit more reluctant, right? But even then, it's always about blaming the Republicans. You were supposed to blame the Republicans. So there is no, I actually don't have any confidence in any of these dipshits. Okay, Tim Kaine in the membrane, Tim Kaine in the brain. Dick Durbin also obviously is retiring, so he has no ambitions. You can't primary these people. Understand that you cannot primary these people. Now, Schumer obviously knew the entire time that it was going on, so the notion that he was not aware of what was going on here is also idiotic. It's a lie. But I wanted to show you this. This is Abigail Spanberger on Face the Nation before the shutdown takes place, and I was very fearful that this is what was going to take place. This was going to happen.
Well, Virginia boasts one of the highest numbers of federal workers in the country, and as you know, many of them are not getting paid. You know, some in your party look at your election on Tuesday and the win in New Jersey and say that is permission to hold the line in Congress and refuse to fund the government or fold on the shutdown. Should congressional Democrats view your victory that way?
Absolutely not. Our victory was a victory that was based on a campaign that was addressing concerns related to costs and chaos. My campaign across the past 2 years have been focused on hearing the challenges that people are facing all across Virginia. It's rising.
She's from Virginia. It makes sense. She wants to shut down the end because of constituency, her constituency. Yes, except, do you understand why I'm mad at her? Everybody wants the government shutdown to end. Nobody wants the government shutdown to continue, chat. There is not a single person that's like, I love the government shutdown. It's awesome. It's not. The point is, you should never blame your own party, okay? Are you dumb? Are you stupid? Why the would you blame your own party for it? You absolute dumbass. There are two parties to a negotiation. Why would you hit the Democrats as opposed to the Republican side that is not negotiating with the Democrats? Are we being for real here? Aren't you a Democrat? Why the are you blaming the Democrats for the shutdown? It's the Republicans that are not conceding to the very reasonable demands that are being made. This question is going to be the only question that remains. 40 days of pain. 40 days of pain. What was it for? Nothing. It was for nothing. And now Americans, by and large, are going to turn around and be like, okay, maybe the Republicans were right. Maybe the Democrats are assholes. And they just decided to shut the government because they're bored. The anger and the resentment that I have for Abigail Spanberger is not that she's like, oh, nobody wants to shut down the continue. Of course, nobody wants to shut down the continue. You're just not supposed to blame your own party, especially, as I said, when you won on
energy and
being opposition to the Republicans. No one wants to see the government shutdown continue. Why is this weirdo blaming the Dems? You just won the election on being in opposition to Republicans and instantly shift the blame back to Dems. Can't stand centrist Dems. Democrats love snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Apply pressure to the GOP. Do full court media press. Please, for once in your lives, do not buckle to these insane people. People's health care is at stake. Otherwise, this was meaningless and you'll be blamed. And of course, I believe like 10 minutes after this video came out and Andrew Desidero was like reporting that it was being circulated among some Senate Democrats right now, they already knew that they were going to fold on it, and they did. Lo and behold, they folded.
The government needs to open, and it needs to open immediately. We need the president to demonstrate leadership, bringing people together, endeavoring to get through whatever negotiations need to get through, whether it's before or after.
Future star of the Democratic Party, guys. This is what the Democrats need more of. You know, a willingness to come to the table so the Republicans can us in the... Okay? This is real girl boss, sweetie. Your weak and feeble mind cannot comprehend how this kind of girl bossing works. Democrats initially demanded 1, an extension to enhance the Obamacare subsidies, and 2, protections against rescissions. They aren't getting either in this deal. Deal to reopen the government is done, per source familiar, led by Shaheen King. There are at least 8 Dem voters voting yes. The deal would include a vote on ACA by the end of the second week in December on a bill of the Dems choosing. It also includes reversals of all shutdown RIFs and protections against further RIFs in the future. The deal funds SNAP through September and at higher levels per source. They literally got nothing out of this. They got nothing out of this. Also, prospect.org shouts out to David Dayen. His reporting on this shows that Schumer was more involved than reported with an attempted cave on the government shutdown. The gang of 8 Senate Dems had his approval and he was getting daily updates. The cave almost happened Thursday after the election. It was even closer to the Tuesday victories. They literally want to kill the hope that their own base has, straight up. And they did this in the same rotating villain structure that I have constantly criticized within the Democratic Party. They had maximum leverage and they said, it. 8 Senate Democrats saw charts like these and decided, oh yes, now that the public opinion is on our side and our opponent is facing electoral consequences for their policy choices, now is a great time to give up all of our leverage in the healthcare negotiations. Trump now just as unpopular as Biden during the inflation surge. Trump underwater on all key issues. Net approval of Trump's handling of the shutdown is dropping. I can't deal with it. I'm so mad. I'm so mad all the time. And I think this will be a radicalizing moment for a lot of your family members as well, because like this is exactly what I yell about all the time. People act like I'm just like I'm only invested in like socialism now, as though I don't just like consistently talk about this sort of stuff within the Democratic Party literally all the time. Like this is a big part of what I talk about. When I say like these are the reasons why Kamala Harris lost, like I mean it. Like I don't want the Republicans to win. I don't want Republicans to win at all. Obviously, you had the ogre who was already anti-shutdown from the start, and he's a giant piece of shit and sucks, and we hate him. You also have, you know, Chuck Schumer that came out with this video.
For months and months, Democrats have been fighting to get the Senate to address the healthcare crisis. This bill does nothing to ensure that that crisis is addressed. I am voting no, and I will keep fighting.
Who is this for? Like, everybody knows you did this, man. Because either you did this and you're evil and you're a piece of shit, or you are so feckless and so bad at your job that you should immediately resign. You should resign nonetheless. You know, there is no alternative here. I say you're the leader of the party. Everyone knows you let the rotating villains concede with basically nothing because you're old and feeble and don't care about anything. You couldn't even make the left pro-Israel your lives mission. Even the Baileys hate you. Resign now. They did this because they know they're safe in the next primary season. If you're a liberal wondering what happened here, okay, show this tweet to your friends, to your mothers, to your fathers, to your aunts, to all the liberals you know, because this is exactly what I've been talking about for years. They know they're safe in the next primary season. If you're a liberal wondering what happened here, understand that this is the rotating villain structure that has undermined Biden and Obama's agendas. They are the moderates that play the spoiler and weaken Dems. They must be excised. This is how it works. Okay, Kirsten Sinema, Joe Manchin, Maggie Hassan, Shaheen, like all of these people, they have always done this. They've always played this role, okay? They always do this no matter what. They do to cuck the agenda, as they did for Biden's agenda. They did this. There was the Lieberman factor when Obama was president. They were trying to get health care done. There's always people within the ranks of the party that does everything in his power to actually cook the Democrats and make them look awful. And the Democrats don't do anything about it. At some point, you have to realize, like, we have enemies. We have enemies within the ranks. A lot of centrist Democrats think I'm their enemy. My enemy is the Republicans. My enemy is people who concede to the Republicans. I don't want Republicans to win. I want Republicans to fail. And anyone that fights back against the Republicans, I'm on board with, okay? These guys don't want to fight back. They are the enemies from within, okay? They operate as though they are Democrats, but the reality of the matter is they are here to do this, okay? They are here to do this. This is their job.
Only the first steps. So let me be clear. No one in the Senate chamber wants to extend the ACA tax credits more than I do. I introduced that legislation in 2019. I fought successfully to pass it in 2021 and 2023, and I'm 100% committed to getting this done.
Yeah, by the way, they know it's not going to happen. That's the other side of it. Senator Maggie Hassan lying about the basics. She thinks you're stupid. She voted to permanently end the enhanced ACA credits for as many as 24 million Americans, doubling premiums on average. Trump is required by law to pay out SNAP in full, and just bigly lost in court tonight.
My vote today was to do two things, both equally morally important and imperative. One is to make sure
they're just straight up lying. I hope you guys understand this, right? Like, I feel less alone than I ever have in this moment. You can't primary any of these people. They're primary proof. I need you to understand the reason why the spoilers came from safe seats was by design. You cannot primary them. You want to know why? Because some of them are retiring. Like Dick Durbin is retiring. He's done. The rest of them do not have a primary coming up in 2026. They are in safe seats until 2028 or 2030 maybe. Some of them are not up for re-election until 2030. Some of them are not up for re-election until 2028. There's not a single Democrat that made a decision here that actually has a competition coming up. Every single one, including those who were actually initially soft on this, like John Ossoff, turned around and voted no. There is a reason for it. It's because the Democrats themselves realized that the party will implode. It's the easiest lock for any Democrat. John Ossoff is up in 2026. He was also voting to end the shutdown. Why did he not vote to end the shutdown? Because they got votes elsewhere in safer seats. The Democratic Party is operating like this deliberately. This was Chuck Schumer's design. I am of the mindset that Chuck Schumer did this on purpose. I'm not of the mindset that Chuck Schumer is so weak that he couldn't actually whip his own caucus. I am of the mindset that Chuck Schumer deliberately designed this process so that it was Democrats that were not up for re-election anytime soon that would take the blame.